Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're looking at a pretty interesting pistol. This is brought in by PTR. It's called the Archon pistol. It's out of Germany. Now, I saw this at SHOT Show, and it was pretty interesting. One of the concepts of low bore access is something that I find very interesting because you look at Glock, you look at Caracal, you look at SIG, you look at how the differences in how the bore access affects your ability to rapid follow-up shots. Well, everything I have seen thus far, for as far as low bore access, this is undoubtedly the lowest in bore access. And you'll see when I'm shooting this thing, literally how flat this thing stays. But let's get into some other more interesting details of it. Very expensive pistol it is. It's a very unique pistol. What's most unique about this is its operating system. If you notice when I pull the slide back, the barrel does not rise. The barrel stays flat. And it has a reminiscence of more of like the Beretta type or the Walther P38, where the barrel stays stationary. It's actually a physical block that locks it into place. With this, the locking block works a lot differently than the Beretta or the Walther. Instead of having a locking block that floats up and down with a plunger, this utilizes a one-piece locking block that goes down and has a cam path like you would on a 1911 or like you would have for a Browning short recoil type mechanism. We'll get into that when we see it. But it's referred to as the AF speed lock system. Now, basically what they say it is the AF speed lock is a unique pistol locking system which prevents the barrel from tilting during the slide cycle. The barrel just goes straight back a few millimeters, keeping in line. The AF speed lock provides the highest level of accuracy as compared to the standard pistols with Browning systems, and more so if we come to speak from the follow-up shots. So it's an extremely low bore access. So let's take a look at some of the specifications on here. Again, caliber is 9x19. The dimensions are 7.7 inches overall length, 1.1 inches in width, and overall height of 5.2 inches. Now the weight, looking at 1.85 pounds. Again, the action is a striker-fired AF speed lock. Now the barrel is cold hammer forged, 4.3 inches, 6 slants and grooves right hand twist, 1 and 10-inch twist. 45-degree crown, and this is all nitride finished. It's all the salt bath nitride type finish. Sights. Now, the sights we have on this one are fixed sights, and we have a fiber optic on the front here, and we have a standard sight on the rear. This is also cut for optics ready, so you can just remove the top here, and you can place on a plate, and you can pretty much use whatever kind of optic that you may want on it. Now we get into the frame. The frame is where it gets a little bit more interesting because we have a very modular type frame. The frame is basically made up of the back strap and a magazine well. This is basically set up for the 15-shot magazine right now. So we insert that magazine, you'll see what we got. Now, when we go to insert the 17-round magazine, you'll see how that sticks down like so. So, if you wanted to convert this over to the full-size pistol, basically all you would do, we're not going to do that because it's a little bit of a pain to get these pins out. You knock 2 pins out, you drop the back strap off, and you drop the magazine well off, and you add this to it, and this basically will give you the full length grip to take that 18-shot magazine. So you have various types of grip lengths. You also have various types of back straps to accommodate your hands. This probably would have been a little bit better for me being a little bit larger of a hand, but you have 2 other back straps as well. So basically you have a very modular system for as far as the individual as to how that you want it. So again, 15 to 18 round magazines. MSRP. The MSRP is really not too bad considering what you're getting. For the standard version, you're looking at $960, and for this version here, it's optics ready, you're looking at $999. But then what we're going to do is we're going to get into this and take a look at the inside. Now this assembly is interesting because you're using a push pin. So basically you're taking a drift punch, taking that all the way through. Like the Glock, you have to pull the trigger to release the striker, and it comes right off. So the first thing we'll take a look at is inside the frame. You can see your feed ramp. You can see your grip module right here as well. Very, very simple. And of course, here's your ejector. And you have the ambi features on this are ambi, obviously safety, and you slingshot left and right. There's no manual safety on here, so basically you could say this is an ambidextrous pistol, just minus the slide lock. Again, it's a slide lock. It's not a slide release, very much like a 1911. Now taking a look at the slide, we have a 3 recoil spring embedded system. So you have your main spring, and you have 2 1-swimmer within plungers. Now, having 3 springs, what does that do for you? It works as a shock absorber, not just a recoil spring guide, but as a shock absorber, which makes a very big difference for as far as the recoil is concerned, which this thing has literally none. Now as we start talking about the locking system. So what we do is we pull this part right out, and this is your locking system. So basically what we have here is a cam path that your pin rides in. So as we can put that in and we can lock this down, we can see it moves upward for the lock position. Then as it moves back that couple millimeters, it drops down. It just drops down a slight amount to allow that slide to come back. So again, you're literally looking at a couple millimeters for that locking block to move down and to disengage to allow the slide to come rearward. This gives you the same kind of a recoil basically you feel with the Beretta. It's more of a push than it is a snap. So again, this is considered a locking block, which is the key to the system of this pistol. Now looking at the barrel just drops right out like so. So you have a good Colt Hammer forged barrel, standard 6 lands and grooves, right hand twist, nitride. And looking at the slide, you can see what we have right in here. You have your frying pin safety in here, everything that you would want for as far as a safe pistol is concerned. Again, this is German. It's well built, as you can see. Now, looking at the way the trigger safety works, unlike the Glock where you have the little tit in the middle that you depress, and that's what allows you to pull the trigger back, this one uses the trigger actually for that safety. If you notice right now, you'll see this is the lock right here. So if you tried pushing back without pulling the trigger, it's not going anywhere. But when you pull the trigger from the bottom, you'll see how that rises out of position, and that allows the trigger to actually move. So that's your trigger safety. Reassembly is quite simple. Quite simple. Barrel locks right back in place. Drop your locking block into place. As you can see, it only goes one way. So when that barrel moves rearward, the locking block slightly rises, and that allows that slide to move. It's just a very short amount of movement to lock, unlock, and move forward. Very ingenious design. Now this locking block, I'd be curious to see the strength of it compared to say like an M9. Again, this is a brand new type pistol, so who knows. But again, you're using sort of a combination of the Browning and the facilitating block type locking block system to make this thing work. I think what we're going to do now is to get to the range, we're going to see how it shoots. As you saw from the muzzle flip, there was very little muzzle flip. You're able to get these shots off very, very quickly. This is a very, very well-made pistol. As I said, I'm glad I saw it over at PTR. You don't hear of it as much, again, because it's not a common one used with any military or law enforcement. And quite honestly, I don't see why it wouldn't be. It definitely has the potential. But in the future, I would expect to see more use out of this pistol. I think PTR is really starting to do the marketing for it right now, because you have everything that you would want on a modern pistol. You have a 1913 rail, you have a trigger safety, you have a fiber optic sight on here, you have a removable plate so you can edge your optics. Everything that you need, plus this really low bore axis. It's a very well made gun. also like to thank our friends over at Challenge Target for providing the steel targets that we use. Again, you just saw from the target, this shot very well on paper, but it's a lot more fun to shoot on these steel targets. So if you guys are looking for any steel targets, take a look over at Challenge Target. Use our code SAS. You can get 10% off of any steel target. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share.